trucks stopped, so it's very nice. Okay. Yes, everything is perfect.
How do I feel? Quite comfortable. Very secure and groovy because of the people who are surrounding me. It's just fine people, and I know they will take care of me when needed, so it's a very nice feeling to have. Of course, I'm a little bit afraid of the consequences, but I think that's just normal. But I think it's a good cause because the people have to wake up. I feel for myself personally, I have to do the most I can do, and I feel the time is right to do the most I can do.
Do you like to be a good example for your son in that way?
Of course, for my daughter as well.
But would you not be afraid about when they will do such actions?
Then I will support them.
So we are here at the airport of Bierzet, near Liege. We are here doing a blockade, a direct action, so people lock themselves in lock-ons, so the police can't take them away easily. We're here to block the cargo transport because we want actually to prevent as much as possible that planes go up in the air now to transport food, for instance, which we think should be localized. Food production can perfectly be done on a local scale. We think it's completely stupid that a lot of money is wasted to get food everywhere on the world, while people should produce for their own communities, both here and in the global south. And if we then see that both food production, transport is completely unsustainable, and also economically this airport needs a lot of subsidies to remain in business from the government, and the government would do way better to use this money instead of for this airport, for local food production, for research, for sustainable transport, sustainable energy, which also could create much more sustainable jobs. Because the only jobs that are created here are like temporary jobs, jobs which are dependent from international companies that one day or another, when the subsidies go away, could also go away to other countries, which lower wages, for instance. Of course, you can grow all food here, but like a lot of things, like beans, a lot of beans also transported here from Kenya, and you can perfectly grow beans here. So it's not that you can't have any flights, but even then we should have tried to work towards more sustainable transport, because there are more sustainable options. For instance, in big cargo boats, it would be more sustainable than by airplane. But a lot of things that we do transport shouldn't be transported. So we should stop transporting the things that we can produce ourselves and produce them here locally, which is much more sustainable. And then the things we still need, we should transport in the most sustainable way, which is certainly not by airplane. The idea, I think, is double. On the one way, you really want to say, okay, first, this is so important. There is a climate crisis, there is a biological crisis, and governments are talking a lot. They were talking in Copenhagen, they're talking in other places, but what they do does not does not fit to what they say. So actually they do much to less or do nothing except for talking. So we say we really need to take action. And the only way, and it's sad that it is like this, but the only way that people will react is when they feel it in their wallets, when they feel it economically. So now by blockading here and stop this economy for a moment, we want to really make them think again about what could be the consequences. We don't want to be just passive consumers, we want to take action ourselves. And on the second hand, by doing this action, we also hope to achieve some media attention and make more people aware of this problem. And like say, people, okay, if the governments don't do it, we need to pressure them, we need to do it ourselves and take action for system change, because in this system, we won't stop climate change.
Yeah. I say climate, you say justice, climate, justice, climate, justice, climate, justice.
I feel pretty fine because we just did what we want to do, so it was in the beginning a little bit stressful, but I'm feeling very okay. So also I think the rest of the people are feeling pretty good.
Why you was stressful? What you was afraid about?
Because we probably would not be able to do our block. That was the main thing that I think everybody fears, like, can we do it? Is it possible? So, but we just done it. Our government is not doing anything about the climate change. Us as people have to do it. So, and the consequences, I don't really afraid of it. So for me, this is really the thing I want to do because it's necessary. I will achieve that we can stay here as long as possible, and also that the media attention is very positive and that we can bring out our statement about why we are doing this, and that's the main thing. So positive views in the media, and also that it's for other people that when they get mention of this action, they also kind of think about really the climate change is something is a big problem, not for one, not for two, but for all of us in the whole world.
Today our food system is completely ridiculous if you look to it on a global scale, because indeed we eat a lot of meat here. Me personally, I'm a vegetarian, but I don't expect everyone to become a vegetarian. But we do eat a lot of meat. We do eat way too much meat, and it's a problem because to produce this meat we need like also food for the cattle, for the animals. And all this food for the animals almost comes from the global south, like from Latin America, like from Asia, Africa. And then the people who work there, they don't own this own ground anymore. So they work there for a big company that produces food for our animals. So they produce food so we could have meat, and they can't eat themselves anymore. And on the other hand, then we see, well, globally it is recognized that food is a right. And then they say, well, it's enough if we have food security, so if there is somewhere a plague or whatever, we will bring them food and then they can eat. And then this highly subsidized food, because we have too much food here, is going there, and it's just destroying what is left of the farmers, because they can't go in competition with the cheap food which is subsidized here. So we're doing two things. We're getting food for our animals to get meat from them, and we're bringing them back food which is heavily subsidized, which makes that the local farmers are being destroyed and are also losing the land. They have to sell it towards these big companies who produce for our cattle. So it's two ways, working in two ways.